This is my show. I got a show. I do things on the radio. What? Who thought to give me a show? Boy, did they. Hi, guys, and welcome to the hottest radio show in Texas, MissInformed, with yours truly, Missy Lou. Howdy ho, howdy hey. I have a special guest with me today. Actually, I've got quite the lineup for you. This is Caleb. Caleb is kind of a big deal. He's a rising star. He is out of Bruceville, Eddie, and he is a senior that just got a scholarship. We'll talk about that in just a second. I wanted to go over a few announcements with you guys really fast. If you're in the Dallas area and you're looking for the networking event, you guys know I used to live in Dallas, and I'm talking about the place to be. I've gotten plenty of business from my marketing side, just going to these events and helping and meeting people. It's called Social Power Hour, and it's hosted by Chris Ryan with Chris Ryan Insurance Group. And it's Thursday, May 13th from 5 to 8. She has giveaways and free food, and the networking is off the chain. I'm going to be there, and I don't even live in Dallas. So make sure that you put it on your calendar for May 13th for Chris Ryan's Social Power Hour. She's going to have it at the Westin Hotel. Okay, guys? Now, that's in Dallas. Now I want to give a shout out. My husband just had shoulder surgery. His uncle is a real big, tough guy, and sometimes he lifts a little too much. Well, he had to have shoulder surgery because he blew his shoulder out. And I just got to tell you guys, if you're in the Waco area and you want to get shoulder surgery, I absolutely love this doctor. His name is Brian Gillum, and he's at the Baylor Scott and White Sports Medicine. The entire team was so nice, from the nurses to the post nurses to the anesthesia guy who was trying to give my husband a belly ring. I almost went with it while he was in anesthesia. You know, they put you under. I almost got Terry Desmond a belly ring. I'm not even kidding. So if you need a belly ring or shoulder surgery, I highly recommend Baylor Scott and White Sports Medicine. I mean, grade A, outstanding, amazing service. Thank you so much, Brian Gillum and team, for all the hard work you did and for taking such good care of the love of my life. Yes, your hair is fine. Now, speaking of getting ahead, I wanted to let you guys know about a place that's opening up in Waco that is going to be the new hotspot and where you can come to network with me, because that's where I'm going to be. Do you know about the new spot that's opening up in Waco? Have you heard?
Top
It's Top Golf. It's coming. And guess what, you guys? My brother got a job there, so now I get the hookup. Don't be jealous. They don't have an open date yet. They're still finishing up the turf. They just got the golf carts in. But a little birdie told me that they are merging with Callaway. So if you're buying stocks, you might go see what Callaway's stock is. That's an insider tip. Okay, you're welcome. Here on MissInformed. So now let's go ahead and circle back around, talk about celebrating Top Golf, but more importantly, celebrating you. So I want to know about Bruceville Eddie. So you are in the athletic department and you got a scholarship in tap dancing, ballet.
Okay.
Well, tell me what you got it in.
So I got it in football. Bruceville Eddie is a 2A school, very small. And I'm very lucky to go to college. So.
Do you like the school? Do you like the teachers there?
Yes.
Is the principal nice?
Yes.
He wouldn't let me come to the school and do a video. That's why you're skipping school today, just so y'all know. So where's the college you're going to?
It's McPherson. It's in Kansas.
McPherson. So guys, if you know about McPherson College, boy, did they luck out, because they got him. And he's so tall. Tell him how tall you are.
6'5", 240.
He's going to be so fun to watch. So what position do you play?
I'm going to play tight end in college. Or defensive end.
Oh my gosh, you're going to bring the pain, aren't you?
Hopefully.
Are you so excited? Are you nervous?
I'm more excited than nervous. So
most people who are going to college have to go into it alone. They don't get to have friends go with them. And one of your friends got a scholarship and is going there too,
Yes.
aren't they?
Mhm.
Who's that? Let's give him a shout out.
His name's Cameron Phelps, and he's going to be a linebacker.
Woo! That is so cool. And you guys are going to room in college?
Yes, sir.
You going to stay out of trouble?
Yeah,
Leave them girls alone.
possibly.
No beers.
No beers.
Stay in school and make it on time to practice.
Yeah.
If you guys have any words of encouragement for Caleb, drop it down and I'll read it to him later after the show. But he's going to college and he's got a scholarship and we're so proud of you and we love you so much. And he's going to be such a hoss to watch. You guys are going to want to tune in and watch his games because they're going to be so awesome. Eventually, I'm going to make it to one. It's in Kansas, so that's a bit of a drive, but I'm going to make it for you, okay? Okay, now go practice and read a book. Keep your nose clean. We love you and congratulations. He knows me too. Thank you. Okay, now I want to go ahead and pull on somebody who's going to tell us what's going on with the real estate market in Lubbock. If you're out in the Lubbock area, you're going to want to hear from this girl because she doesn't just sell real estate. She can help fix your credit. You heard me. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, you know, crazy. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm out here smelling the bluebonnets.
Nice.
So I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in Lubbock. So here I follow the Dallas, the Austin, and the Waco market.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dallas is crazy. We've got homes that are going on the market and selling probably within 5 to 7 days. Austin, we're having contracts written with a home unseen, and they're like within 24 hours they're under contract. New builds have bidding wars on the lots before you even build on the land in Austin. Like you can only have cash if you want a home in Austin right now. It's really sad for a lot of the buyers, especially with VA loans and stuff like that. And then Waco, it's not as bad. Waco is kind of cool. So I'm wondering, how is it there in West Texas? Are they cool? Is it crazy? What's up?
No, it's definitely similar. A house goes on the market, it gets 4, 5, 6 different offers. It's not on the market very long, maybe a day or two, while the seller decides which offer they want to take, basically. So I'll show a house the next day. If they haven't made a decision if they want to get the house or not, then it's already gone by the time they do make a decision. So you can't wait 24 hours. You have to get it in as soon as you look at the house, basically.
So do you type offers in your car now? What do we do as a realtor when we have the market moving that fast? You got Wi-Fi?
Well, I at least have time to get back to the office and then put in the offer. I don't have to do it in my car, thank goodness. I will tell you, land is very hard to get around here. I've been looking for 350 acres as well as 1,000 acres, and I've been unable to find that. So land here is not easy to come by. Especially like big lots of land.
Yeah, that's 1,000 acres. That's a lot. What are they trying to do? Bury some bodies?
Ranch. Just have a ranch. Go hunting.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You can get some big land over in Seminole. They want to go over towards Odessa. You could probably get some land out there cheap.
Yeah, I don't know how it is over in Midland, Odessa area, honestly. But people are moving to Lubbock from New Mexico because New Mexico is still very much shut down. They haven't opened up 100%, and people are just getting tired of it. And I've talked to a lot of people that have come in from New Mexico to Lubbock. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Do you have any vendors that do the Spanish speaking, like a lender that's Spanish speaking or anything like that?
I do not. I have a girl in my office that does Spanish speaking, so she can definitely help me with that.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you're a lender out there, Laura's probably someone to make friends with. You know what I'm saying? She's dealing with a lot of people coming in from New Mexico. Do you deal with first-time buyers a lot? I mean, how do you combat people who are just starting to buy a home and have messed up credit?
Yeah, so a lot of the clients that I have are coming into the program to get their credit repaired, and they're first-time home buyers. So they messed up their credit when they were a lot younger, just never got it fixed, and then they're like, well, I'm tired of renting and paying all this extra money. I want to buy a home. So they come into our program and we get them on their program, get their credit repaired, and then get them funded for a house and start looking for a home.
How long does it take? Does it depend on the score?
It does. It depends on a number of things. It depends on how many items are on your report, how recently like those charge-off collections, late payments were. But it can take anywhere from 6 months to 15 months, just depending on your credit. A big thing with getting your credit repaired, though, which is oddly enough something that we run into a lot, is having 2 matching forms of ID. So a lot of people's socials do not match their driver's license. I don't know what the Social Security office is doing down there, but they do not match. I had one girl, her middle name was Alicia, but the Social Security office put it as Alice. So that's a big thing, is having matching IDs. So
how do they combat that with the Social Security offices being shut down right now? And I know that because I'm trying to change my last name from Wilson to Trantham, and the Social Security office wants me to send my birth certificate and my Social Security card in, and I'm not sending my stuff in the mail. Like,
yeah. We can use bank statements. So we usually just have them go to their bank and change their name. It's the easiest. Or like an LP&L bill, or sorry, electric bill. Y'all don't have LP&L all over Texas.
Let's talk about electricity and LP&L for just a minute, because we did have that outage in Texas where a lot of people were left with no electricity, no water, and I think about 25 people froze to death in their home in the state of Texas because we weren't prepared for how cold it got. What was it like in Lubbock? Were people freezing there too?
I don't think so. We did have rolling power outages. Where I live, I didn't have any outages at all.
That's important with buying a house. I want a house. If I was looking for a house in Lubbock, I'd want to know which one stayed on the grid.
Yeah. I think it was mostly LP&L. They're really they're a monopoly in Lubbock, so they definitely charge us a lot more than any other company would. I just got a house, but I got it outside of the city limits, so I have South Plains Electric Co-op, and I don't have to use LP&L. But hopefully we'll get that to where they're not just the only one that offers it in the city limits.
I'm so sick of LP&L. LP&L, I hate you. I said it.
Yeah,
because I used to live in Lubbock before, and they were awful. The customer service, they're bullies. It was like the mafia. They're jerks. I don't like them. If you don't live in Lubbock and you're shopping for electricity, you can always go to www.powertochoose.org, and they give you all the current rates of electricity companies. And it's great. I always use it for my clients, unless you're in Lubbock, then you're,
Yeah, I don't know why we can't have something like that. I don't really know what the thing is with that, unless they have money in the city pockets. I don't know.
It's got to be something. I mean, like HEB wasn't allowed to go into Dallas for the longest time. They made some agreement, like they can have the Kroger's there, but they can't have HEB's there. It was something like that. They made some agreement and it just expired, and they're about to put their first HEB in Dallas now. I love HEB.
I did not know that. We just got our first HEB. So.
Oh, did you?
We did.
There's something that's allowing them to come in, and they're going to rock it. I mean, I saw this Easter dress in HEB the other day, and I was like, man, I really want that. But like, am I going to buy a dress at a grocery store? Like, sure. Yeah. I mean, I didn't. I decided to buy way too many cookies instead because that's where my life choices are. But like, I almost bought the dress,
Well, I mean, it's like buying at Walmart.
Yeah, and I love some of this stuff at Walmart,
They've definitely upped their game with their clothing lines, for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I agree. Speaking of upping their game, so if somebody is looking to buy a home for the first time or doesn't even know where to start, to up their game and get themselves ahead, they need to be working on the credit. How soon should someone call you to talk about their credit before they're ready to buy?
So basically, well, like I said, it takes 6 to 15 months to repair your credit. So it really just depends on how bad your credit is. So we say, if you have about 8 to 12 derogatory items, then you would be on the program about 6 months. So each derogatory item, there's 3 main credit bureaus, I should say, because there's multiple credit bureaus. But the 3 main ones are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So each item is a derogatory item on each one. So if you have a repo and it's reporting to all 3 of the bureaus, then that is 3 derogatory items. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it certainly does.
And then a big thing that I've run into it once, but judgments sometimes do not show on your 3 credit reports, your Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, but they will show on the LexisNexis report that the banks typically pull. So if you have a judgment and you don't know about it, I highly recommend that you pull that report. It is a free report. That way you can see if there's a judgment. It is a different process trying to get a judgment removed. It's definitely doable. It's a lot harder, and it does have to be paid. The judgment will have to be paid even if
Oh yeah. One of my last, it's interesting you say that, because one of my clients that I just helped buy a home, they had a judgment against them and they didn't know it until they went through the process of purchasing a home. And to be going through the process and the stress of being a first-time home buyer and trying to get a new home, and the lender throwing all the stuff at you, because everything's on fire when you're working with a lender. You got to do this and you got to do it fast, because we have to have you approved within a certain amount of days, or you can lose your earnest money a lot of times with that third-party financing. So if you're going through this entire process and then you find out you have a judgment, then you got to scramble to see what they want to fix this judgment. Again, like you said, they got to pay off the balance usually, and they didn't see it on their credit report, so they had no idea. And that could have been avoided if they would have just reached out to a credit company, a credit repair company like yours, and just had them do a check. I think it's a good idea. And one of the things I do when I'm just having that discussion with somebody that's a first-time home buyer is, why don't you go ahead and make sure your credit's in line? Because identity theft is so bad, and there's so many things that could be wrong if you weren't minding your P's and Q's when you were younger. You need to make sure that your credit's good. So go ahead and have that checked first, preliminary, and then let's move forward. So I mean, it's just about finding a company that's noteworthy. And your company, you have dual. It's called Mr.
Realty Solutions and Mr. Credit Solutions. We'll also be doing solar eventually, so we'll be Mr. Solar Solutions as well.
Oh, that sounds fun. Solar Solutions. Mr. Solar Solutions. So how do you feel having a Mr. in front of your company? Like, well, I mean, first off, you're a girl.
You're right. Well, the owner's a male, so.
Well, tell him I don't appreciate him being a male. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing. But it is really exciting to hear that company coming up and that they're grabbing so many different things to work together to kind of be like a one-stop shop for the clients.
Yeah, we'll eventually we'll have our own loan officer at some point as well.
That's going to be exciting. Gosh, having everything in-house like that, it's just going to be so helpful. So helpful to the client. So if somebody is getting ready to buy a house right now, do you have any tips? Like, is it okay to still make big purchases whenever you're about to get a house? Or,
yes.
I mean,
yeah. So I tell this to everybody. Even if you're waiting 6 to 8 months to buy a home, the biggest thing is pay off all your credit cards. Keep them at a $0 balance until the funding is done on your home. After your funding, you can do whatever you want. Don't buy any new vehicles, like it's big purchases. Don't change jobs before. In the meantime, they want 2 years of job history. So if you do change jobs, make sure it's in the same field and you're either making the same or more money.
Okay.
So like if you're a nurse and you switch, from one hospital to the next, that's acceptable 2-year employment history.
Yeah. So if I close on a house today, can I go out and buy a car to celebrate?
Not if the funding hasn't gone through.
Wait for the funding to go through. Okay. All right, I gotcha.
I had a client. We got her approved for a house. We picked out a house. We're under contract. And she goes, "Can I go buy a new car?" And I said, "No, absolutely not. You cannot go buy a new car right now."
Please don't do that. Please just wait a minute. I know it's surprising how many people the biggest thing that I struggle with is them wanting to go and buy new furniture. They got closing coming up and they want to go and buy the furniture. They're like, no, it's cool. I got 0% financing. I'm like, you ruined your life. Especially if their DTI is kind of teeter-tottering. Like sometimes you can, but usually you can't. And it's best if you don't.
Yeah. Also, on the credit repair side, if you have a repo on your credit and it's still showing a balance, it will count towards your DTI income. So you want to get that balance removed before applying for the home loan. Now, getting that balance removed is definitely doable, because the balance usually isn't accurate because they've charged you all kinds of interest fees, and then they didn't deduct the correct price for the car. So it's easy to get that balance removed to a $0 balance.
That's wonderful. Let me ask you this about cars. I had a client that had a repo, and when they pulled their I think when we purchased the house, it had been like 3 years since their car was repoed, I think. And she said that they took it and it never showed up on her credit bureau. And when we went through the home buying process, it didn't show up either, but she didn't pay the balance off. And I can't remember how much she owed on it, but I mean, I imagine it was like at least 10 grand. Why would it have not shown? Would it have just fallen off after so long? How did that happen?
They can fall off after 7 years, but however, if it's resold, so say you had a repo in 2010. Well, it should have fallen off in 2017, but in 2016, they resold it to another company. So now it's back on your credit. So the 7-year thing is just if they don't resell it or do anything with it. Now, if she had that car repoed and then they sold the car and got what she owed, that could be another reason that it's not on there.
It was like a Christmas miracle, she said.
Yeah, basically.
And we didn't see it when we ran the 3 credit bureaus. And I referred her to a credit company before I realized about the best credit company out there that Laura works with. And they didn't see anything. And so we're just like creeping along through the transaction, like, expecting it to show up. And it just, the lender, the underwriter, nobody ever found it.
Yeah. That's lucky.
Yeah, I know. Like, she was a very lucky girl. She was very lucky. So if people are out there looking to buy in the Lubbock area, do you just cover Lubbock, or do you go out to like Post, Amarillo? Like, how far does Laura go?
I can buy and sell in Amarillo. So Upper Panhandle, all of West Texas. I would eventually like to get into Midland, Odessa as well. I'm going to work on creating a team, as under me, help me as well. So, but Midland, Odessa is on my radar because it is there's a lot of luxury housing out there because of the oil fields.
Oh, babe. So one of my friends that was my roommate whenever I was working at Drake's, she lives in Midland, Odessa, and a lot of her friends are, her husband's an accountant, and a lot of her friends are accountants that work in his office. And I've gone and done some girl events with them in the past, and they're just the sweetest group of girls. I would love to introduce you to them because I bet you they could shake some stuff out in Midland.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got the money. They're the ones who have the big houses, and they'll know their neighbors and stuff. We need to have a girls trip with them. We'll just go to Midland and see what we can get into.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's just meet Dallas instead. Can we meet in Dallas instead?
Yeah, I love Dallas.
Dallas is a place to be. You want to go for a hot minute.
Vacation. A weekend vacation would be nice. We should definitely plan something. Absolutely.
I think that, Jody's got a great big house in Austin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we could go crush Jody's house.
I mean, Austin's fun too, man. I'm in Lubbock for the connections only.
Right. Well, speaking of connecting, if anybody out there is watching and you're in the Lubbock area and you need a realtor that cares and is going to, put forth the effort to get you where you need to be and in position, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, you need to make sure your credit's in order. Laura can help. She does credit repair and she's a realtor. I mean, it's like the most beautiful combination of skills that you need to get a home. Like, I'm kind of jealous that I don't have the capabilities that you have, Laura. Like, that's bad to the bow that you can fix someone's credit and put them in the house simultaneously. Mm-hmm. I mean, and pretty soon you're going to be able to get them solars.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely helps, getting your credit fixed because the score did change because of COVID. The minimum score now is 600, where it used to be 580. So a lot of people just.
580 is a national average. Is that right?
Do what?
I think 580 is like the national average, or it was a few years ago, like maybe 4 years ago, it was a national average was 580, I think.
I'm not sure what the national average is, honestly. But I mean, I would say so because a lot of people that come in are in that 580 range. We also have a program too. Say you're at like a a 595, and you just need a little boost to get your credit up. We have what's called an authorized user. So we have credit cards that have high credit limits, 10, 15, 20, $50,000, and long credit history. So like 10 years of credit history, all positive payments. So we can add you on there. There's a charge for it. And we can add you on there. That will boost your credit score to get you into a home. And then we take you off after the funding has gone through.
Oh my gosh, it's a genius idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how whenever I was a teenager, that's how I started my credit. I went and got an account at a bank, and then I went and got a credit card with Capital One, and they made me pay them $100, and they gave me a card, and the limit was $100. So I'm just borrowing against myself, and I paid it back, and I was able to build my credit and get another credit card, and eventually, I had credit. That's how I started. But I mean, that
the
program,
secured card. I definitely recommend the secured credit card. If you do not have a credit card, definitely get a secured credit card. Start building your credit with that.
But you have to make the payments. Make the payments on the card. Caleb, the little teenager here, that's who needs to be working on. He's at the perfect age to start working on his credit and get that credit card.
And younger people just don't care. We used to do classes at South Plains College for credit repair, and they weren't interested in it. So, I mean, I guess you just hit a certain point in life where you're like, my parents aren't going to co-sign for me anymore. I need credit now.
Crap, I gotta get my life together. Time to adult. Well, I think that it's definitely something that we should learn more about. I would love to see little videos from you giving credit tips and stuff like that, so I can forward them to my clients and educate, because I really don't believe that there's enough education about credit and things that people could be doing to put themselves in the best position to buy a home when they get older. I mean, they just don't teach it. It's just not in school, and it's a shame.
Yeah. I mean, definitely start building your credit as soon as you turn 18. Buy your first house at 21. I mean, it's a great investment. You're dumping money into something that's going to give you a return. And then if you graduate college, and then you're like, hey, I could rent this house out and make some extra money and buy me a new house.
What's lucrative right now in the Austin area? I mean, they're just making, and Dallas too, just
Airbnbs,
money. Airbnbs, they are just creaming it out there, man.
Yeah, I want to get one in Denver. I want to buy one in Denver.
That sounds awesome. Listen, I want you to consider Telluride, because that's where we got married in November. Oh my God, dude. It was like driving into a Hallmark Channel.
I know. I've heard it's beautiful. I've not been, but I do want to go.
And there's like a trail where you can hike and get into Vail. Like it's right next to Vail, and it is just, you need to go. It's so pretty. We'll go to the Celebrate.
Definitely.
But I think that it is a really cool area in Colorado. I absolutely love it. Like if I was going to have a second place to be, it'd probably be Colorado.
I love Colorado. Absolutely. It's just expensive.
Yeah. I want to get some horses and get a ranch out there. That's what I want. But maybe it'll just be a mobile home on the road. I don't know. With a van down by the river. We'll see. I'm excited for the future. But I'll have good credit because I have Laura with me, and Laura knows how to give me great advice with all of my credit needs, you guys. So I'm just putting it out there. Laura, do you want to give them your contact information? So if anybody's listening and they're really thinking of buying a house in Lubbock, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, so my email is Laura, Laura, @solutions.team. And then my phone number is 806-451-5138. And those are the best ways to reach me.
Do you have a website that you encourage people to go to and check out, or no? Just call you?
Well, I'm working on building my own website, but we do have the Mr. Credit Solutions website as well. So my website will have links to Mr. Credit Solutions and Mr. Realty Solutions, but I'm having that built right now.
So guys, the best takeaway from this show is that if you're looking to buy a house in the Lubbock area, Laura is a dedicated and hardworking realtor, and she can also help assist with any kind of credit repair needs that you may have, or maybe you don't want to buy a house and you just want to repair your credit. She can do different services for you. So she's definitely somebody that you want to get in contact with. She works for a wonderful, noteworthy company, that is also about to start doing solar. So if you're interested in solar, maybe call her. Go ahead and get on the jump with that as well. Laura, thanks for coming on the show, dude.
Thanks for having me.
You're absolutely wonderful, and your hair looks so good. Have you noticed I've been messing with my hair this whole time? Because my roots are bad, and looking at how beautiful your hair is has made me like.
Oh, my roots are bad too. I have an appointment on Saturday.
I think it's been like 4 months. I hate wearing the mask and getting your hair done. That's what they made me do. They made me put on a mask.
I don't think I've worn a mask recently since Governor Abbott lifted the mask mandate. There's not really anybody in the West Texas area wearing them much. So
yeah, it's windy. It's fine. It's blowing the germs on down the road, blowing them down to Midland or something. Odessa is where the germs go. Odessa is where the germs go. But if you guys are going to Lubbock, they call Laura because she can help you. And if you're a germ, then take it to Midland. I mean Odessa. Odessa, sorry.
Or Big Springs.
Or Big Springs. That's fine. Either or. Just don't take it to Lubbock. Or here to me. I don't want it.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for real estate in Lubbock, call Laura. Lubbock for Laura. Got it, guys? Okay. I am going to go plan a party because now we're about to have a big shindig at Top Golf in Waco. So I'll be watching for more information on that. And Laura, I freaking love you.
I love you.
Thank you for being on the show. You made it such a wonderful day.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Okay, I'm going to go plan a party. You guys have a wonderful day and be smart out there. Get your credit check. Call Laura.
Thanks. Bye.
See you next time. Bye.